My arguments about why why this is just about this is about the self and not about the ethics of the self, and why just because the self is kind of the community does not entail that the ethics part of the that this entails any conception of ethics. The reason why this takes it out. In addition, my arguments above about why communitarianism is false is also rejects this argument. In addition, the NC framework always comes first for two reasons. One, nothing exists outside of the language. The affirmation is impossible with attempts to derive morality from objective external facts and things that we agree on, but those aren't grounded in inherent meaning normative terms. In addition, she proves that her framework, she says to prove why it's consistent with my standard. Otherwise, normative terms lose their meaning or render nonsensical. Ethics is impossible. Now, contention. Off the first one, she said that you just have to be in an environment that justifies giving bacteria rights as a relevant feature, just being a community. Her evidence would commit her to this view that we should protect bacteria, but that's obviously absurd because it results in irresolvable disagreement because that means we couldn't ever immunize ourselves against bacteria. Now, off the second one. Group the second and third one. First, she can't just win that pets are part of the community because that, by definition, is part of a moral community because they are, by definition, part. She needs to be winning more than just one or two, and she can get next thing stand the spike at the top. But that doesn't indicate that why she can just track some relevant characteristics. She needs to be attacking a specific biological group that she needs to defend. In addition, humans have unique moral capacity to distinguish them from animals. Animals cannot conceive the duties of right. Cohen. The universe to human possession uniquely moral law means humans can find choices that are purely moral. Humans, but certainly not dogs, might lay down moral laws for others and for themselves. Not even animals act to command for moral judgment. They're not beings of kind, capable of exercising more responding moral claims. In addition, now go to the last one. First, this is my evidence in the framework outlines why this not be part of a moral community. But in addition, they're still not be part of a moral community because they still have the ability to have the capacity to have language, etc. And her framework arguments would not agree to that relevant feature of the community.
Okay, can I see the timer?
Yep.
Are we ready? So you make a lot of terms to the AC that are saying animals can't engage in moral laws, animals don't have the abilities to participate in a moral community, right?
Right, it's more than
okay.
that, right?
Where in you say that you're reconceptualizing my framework.
My framework cards track relevant features of what it means to be part of a community. Then
why
I'm
are
reading
these
cards
relevant?
animals don't meet.
What is the warrant for why language and communication is relevant to, is the relevant feature of a moral community?
It's not just language and communication. Your evidence concedes that. Your killer evidence concedes that.
What is the warrant? Why does my evidence concede that?
Well, you should tell me that's your evidence.
I don't think my evidence concedes that. So if you're going to tell me my evidence concedes that, then what's the reason?
Okay, well, here, I also read a piece of Fox evidence, right? The Fox evidence is that beings that belong to a moral community must be, by their nature, capable of functioning within one. They must possess the ability to manipulate concepts and use language for the purpose of communicating wishes, desires, and choices.
Right,
and the capacity
that's a claim, though. What is the warrant for why beings commit? Okay.
Next part. It says, possession of these characteristics plus the capacity to recognize in others explains what we mean by speaking of ourselves as persons in a moral community, right? And it defines what it means to be a person in terms of personhood, right?
Where is my framework at all talking about personhood? Doesn't my framework reject the notion of individual personhood?
No, it's not about individual person. It's about individuals being in a community and why that's a necessary condition.
Right, but why does my framework care about what is necessary to be an individual at all?
Because that's necessary for the recognition of persons within the moral community.
But don't I reject the notion of personhood?
You reject the notion. Well, my argument is that notion of person is relevant when we talk about the moral community, but it's irrelevant in your consideration, right? It's two different conceptions of personhood we're talking about.
Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about the NC.
Yep.
Okay, so how can I turn the NC?
You turn the NC by proving that the use of animal rights is consistent with language structures.
Language structures. Okay, what are language structures? How do we know what language structures are?
That's the Atolla evidence of the framework. Atolla says that we cannot escape language. Limits my language means limits my world. Nothing exists to us unless conceptual.
How do we know what the overriding conception of language is?
We have to look at normative meanings inherent in language, right? There are a couple arguments.
Right, but how do we make these types of claims? How do we justify what is the meaning inherent? No, how do we just justify what is the meaning inherent in language?
Based on what's been grounded in the past and how we look at normative structures, right? My argument is that only humans are individuals in the meaningful sense of the term. So your framework results in meaning blindness because they make no sense in relation to language.
What word's meaning am I being inconsistent with?
Animal rights.
Animal rights?
Yep.
Okay. Do you offer a definition of animal rights, or do you accept the Ash definition?
It's not consistent with language structures. You can provide a definition of what animal rights are, but that doesn't deny that it's not grounded in the normative structures of our language.
Okay.
Sure, you can say animal rights is X, but that doesn't deny that it might destroy
your argument is there's only one piece of offense in the NC, right?
Two.
Okay.
Atolla and Shaman.
Okay. Then what's the Shaman argument?
Shaman says the right to expand include all living creatures. The concept will lose its normative force. So extensionist principle will lead to situations like Auschwitz where Jews were no different from a beetle, because you could crush them under foot.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And also, it seems like I'm the only one really talking about rights and what?
It's automatically just going to lead to all of us. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's that if we allow for equality, that would devalue like what it means to be a special person.
Before I start prep, can I see the answer?
Yep.
And we're taking 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. To hold this count up.
Oh,
Okay. I'll just set it right.
Is this for judges only?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I was confused.
Is that what you turn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Might be the best pizza in New York hot. It's not the best pizza in New York cold.
I agree.
Alright, 123 remaining. The letter is going to be NCAC. There you go. Starting on the answer. Alright. Ready? He can be surprised that if I can prove that they're not changing language structures and be consistent with the way that we use language, that is sufficient to affirm under his standard. That means if I can prove that there's no cohesive determination of what animal rights is, that is sufficient to affirm. So, one, turn it. You can't have one conception of what anything is going to mean because there are lots of different ethical theories that interpret animal rights different ways. That means that there is no one conception of what language is, so I can't be violating anything. Two, turn it again. We offer different definitions of what animal rights are and what anything else is. That means that because words have different definitions, we can argue about the definitions of boards. Again, there's no overriding conception of what things are. It's free turning because this just means that we can escape and change our interpretation of language. If I'm being inconsistent with the language, that doesn't mean that I'm being contradictory to something that is like whole cut that